So, how are you today? Honestly, this past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, I've always been asked, "How are you doing?" And I always say, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm living. I'm doing life." بس بعرف إنه deep down I'm not so good. Uh, I'm just living through life going through it day by day. بس ما عم بعرف شو بدي أحس، شو بدي أحكي، شو بدي أعمل، شو بدي what to feel لأنه everything that's going on. و, um, it comes down to one thing, which is what I've somewhat come to terms with, which is I'm just emotionally exhausted. كتير عم بيصير في قصص بحياتي، مش بالضروري يكونوا بعد، بس انه كتير عم بحس وصلت لمرحلة انه like okay وبعدين شو الوضع. so so yeah, that's it's something that I've been thinking about كتير, especially now because again كتير قصص عم بتصير عنا every single day وعن جد ما عادش عم نعرف شو بدنا نحس وشو بدنا نعمل، شو بدنا نحكي وشو بدنا ما نحكي وكل شيء، لأنه it's always such a hard question to answer لأنه you might be good today but not so good tomorrow, and when you wake up tomorrow you're like shit, I'm not very good. So بتصير you overthink, at least in my case I overthink كتير من هالقصص. Why do I not feel so good؟ أنا عامل شيء حاكي شيء whatever. بس I think given كل القصص اللي عم بتصير الأخبار وهيك, it's fucking tough صراحة. Like it's not normal what's happening. um, to wake up كل يوم في شي خبر جديد that you need to ترجع تأقلم حالك عليه أو حالك. It's not normal صراحة. It's not normal to keep living this life of كل يوم بدي ارجع to adapt, بدي ارجع to adapt, بدي ارجع to adapt. why should I keep on adapting؟ ليه بدي ضل قاعد عم جرب زبط كل شيء حوالي لما أنا لازم زبط حالي, which is I think the whole point of this podcast اللي هي focusing on yourself a little bit more. و especially هيك these few days, like أيام ما عم بقدر نام, بس عم فكر بأخبار شو بركي يصير شو بركي ما يصير whatever. ما بعرف فكر بركي 20 سنة لقدام إنه I don't know. I don't know, will I be abducted by an alien? I have to live on a separate planet. I don't know, like what's gonna happen. Uncertainty is a crazy thing. Like it's عن جد بركي أغرب شيء بالدنيا, لأنه الواحد بيضله خايف وهيك مش عارف الله وين حاطه. عرفت إنه it's like I don't know what to do today لأنه it might impact tomorrow. بس I think this is the bigger problem اللي هي ما عم نعيش اللحظة. دائما عم نجرب نعيش إنه okay, let's think about the future life, the future Karim. What would he like? What would he want to do? Well, I think that's been heck one learning that I've started to adopt at least these past few days. اللي هي and at the end of the day, with everything happening, it shouldn't happen. It's not normal. It's not cool at all. بس كمان بنفس الوقت I also feel like there's another part of me that wants to be a little bit مش selfish. It's not selfish, but to focus a little bit more on myself in terms of أنا شو عم بعمل كل يوم, شو عم بحكي, what am I taking on every day, شو القصص اللي أنا عم بقريها كل يوم. لأنه بالآخر صار لما عم نام عم بقري خبر ما حلو, عم برجع بوعى بقري خبر مش حلو, برجع بالنهار بسمع شي وبالليل بسمع شي, بتصفي your whole day مكركب ومكسر وهيك again not for bad reasons, just we're very curious human beings. We're very distant من كل شي عم بيصير, but yet we're so connected. We're always trying to live this life of بدي ساعد وبدي أعمل وبدي بس بالآخر the reality is the only thing that we can do عن جد is just take care of ourselves. لأنه honestly it's tough to be abroad and watch what's happening. It's not normal. يعني the difference between today or what's happening now وما بعرف 50 60 70 سنة لورا, difference is now it's televised. Now you're literally bombarded every single day, which again is not wrong لأنه we live such a connected life. هيدي منا شيء غلط. But I think the amounts in which we consume can be challenging. كنت قاعد عم بحكي with my therapist ديك اليوم انه ما عم بعرف شو اعمل لانه انه عم خلص شغل عم بكون I'm already stressed from work عندي قصص to take care of بيرجع اخبار بيرجع قصص in my personal life that I need to take care of بترجع بتقول ما انت بانه بدي اتمرن ما اجي اتمرن خلص بطل لي نفس like ما بدي اكل ما بدي اتمرن ما بدي اعمل شيء ومش again مش انه مش من شيء بس it's more of I'm just tired I'm emotionally tired I I have too much to think about I'm dreaming so much that I'm exhausted we're not dreaming of like unicorns and rainbows yet but it's just thinking so far ahead that I can't control it I ما عم بقدر but the main thing that I always say or at least started to say and started to adopt اللي هي يعني it's always good to عن جد be there for somebody لأنه يعني the world as it is I hate to say it but it's tough it's not as easy as what it seemed to be بس بنفس الوقت لازم عن جد to focus on ourselves in terms of how can I make my day better مثلا instead of consuming مثلا my social media feed 10 hours a day بعملها مثلا ما حقول 1 hour 5 hours a day within that 5 hours خلاص باخد breaks in between I do other things I feed my soul different things that make me feel better هلا again I know that to some it might sound insensitive it might sound unfair or no شايف حالك no I don't agree with this but what I do think is that بالآخر نحن حننحرق إذا حنضل قاعدين موترين وعم نفكر وهيك لأنه بالآخر I always believe that whatever happens in life there's a purpose now now it doesn't seem like there is a purpose but there is a كيف بيقولوا a brighter ending to things and anybody who knows me knows that I believe this is that يعني there's always a positive ending to anything ما في شيء بيصير بالدنيا that's gonna turn out bad مستحيل you go through shit sorry but things get better after وأنا this is what I always believe in I'm not saying it to بالعكس to belittle اللي عم يصير أكيد لا بالعكس whatever is happening is not cool it's not normal it's not easy to تنعيشه كل يوم تنعيش هالقد stress وبانيك وخايفين لأنه بالآخر مثل ما قلت يعني we're so connected مع عالم اللي ما بنعرفهم بس physically we're not present we're not there we're not doing much اللي هي بيصعب الأمور بركي بمليون مرة لأنه كتير في هيك a need to help بس the reality is the people who we do need to help physically in this present time is ourselves وكمان أي حدا حوالينا اللي عم جد عم نحس إنه they're struggling or actually they just need a voice they need somebody to talk to that's someone who you should at least help out within that's within your control هلا أكيد في قصص إنه توعية posting content تبرع أكيد this is a given بس إنه in terms of direct help I always think that دايما help people around you لأنه like I try to not underestimate the power of being there for someone when they truly need support and I've seen it with myself يعني I remember there was one day I was watching this video it was a very heartbreaking video وقاعد عم بحضر وقاعد عم فكر I'm like man حرام وبلشت ابكي and the first thing I thought was like okay now this is when I need to call up a friend and be like hey man you know what I'm not doing okay I need help I need someone to listen to me I need somebody to hear me out I need someone to tell me you know what it's gonna be okay or انت منك لحالك كلنا we're all in this together we're all gonna see a better day together or something along the lines of something that's gonna make things be a little bit easier a little bit of positive reinforcement هلا كان ما عم بقول انه feeling things is bad بالعكس cry as much as you want feel as down as much as you want. Of course, it's normal. That's كمان part of what I promote on the podcast is عن جد to be your most vulnerable self بأي نهار كنتوا فيه بأي ظرف كنتوا فيه. بالعكس ابكوا احردوا whatever it is. Don't ما تحرموا حالكم um, من هال experience, because بالعكس that's when you truly connect with yourself. It's been challenging now because كتير أمرار and even before I recorded this podcast I was overthinking this recording session بركي 100 مرة. I was thinking, okay, should I do it, should I not do it? But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, but part of the mission of this podcast is to be there for people, is to be the voice for people who feel like they need somebody to listen to them. كمان بنفس الوقت to also share my experience. Again, every other experience is more than welcome, but to share my experience because it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been a fruitful one per se. But I'm trying to manage. I'm trying to find a way because honestly, I don't have it all figured out. I don't. Till today, ما عم بعرف what to do. From not being able to sleep, from constantly thinking about the innocent people that are being affected كل يوم. Thinking about كمان my other day-to-day pressures as well. As simple as going to gym, something that again, people who know me know that this is my thing that I do almost every single day. Now I feel like it's a chore. It's like, okay, I'm so heavy, I'm so burnt, I'm ما عم بقدر, But at the same time, this is where you need to, one, start finding that support group, or not even support group, support person. There's a a group, a person, or finding that outlet that you have, whether it's writing, whether it's singing, whether it's exercising, whether it's whatever it may be for you. But try to tap into these things that you need to fuel your body with things that help you re-energize and to refocus and to feel like you are alive again. Well, again, I know that, again, I'm going to keep re-saying this. I know a lot of this will sound insensitive, and this is not the point. This is not what I'm trying to say. But what I am trying to promote is keep a balance, because more often than not, so I myself included, كتير بتاخد بالوقت انه لازم اقرا ولازم احضر هالفيديو اقرا هالكتاب عن هذا الموضوع اللي بخص هذا الشيء. برجع بالاخر you finish your day, you're like, man, I'm screwed, like I'm burnt. يعني I didn't read something that I want to read about, something that I care about, something that I feel like will help me in my day-to-day life. Things like finding a balance, things like finding like finding a way out of this cycle, because it is a cycle. It's a cycle where you keep reading, watching, commenting, reading, watching, sharing. But I didn't feel like, okay, what did I do? Again, we might not all have it figured out, and no one's alone. We're all in this together. It's not an easy place to be in now, because we are, what did I say earlier? It was hopeful but helpless. I'm always hopeful. I'm hopeful that a lot of things will work out for sure. But helpless from a practical perspective, yeah, I genuinely don't know what to do. Well, that's the first time I think, or one of the first few times I felt that in my life, where I felt عن جد ما عندي an answer. And that makes me feel super weak, honestly. Like when I sit down with my mom and I sit down and watch the news, yeah, on the outside I'm all positive ويلا وكله بينحل وكله مش كله منيح, بس انه it'll all work out. It'll all be better sooner rather than later. But on the inside, I'm like, man, I don't know, like, what the fuck's gonna happen. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I don't know how my mom's feeling. And a lot of times I feel like I need to put on this brave face. I don't know why I do that. بالذات بهيك مواقف where we're all in like a collective struggle, but we're all trying to find our way. We're all trying to adapt to the situation. بس ما حدا عارف كيف, because it is it's a relatively you know, relatively new yet fucking crazy situation that we're in. Saraha, you know. And actually, it's something very interesting that I mentioned. Bring up my mom because to me, she's always that person who I go to, who I look at for strength. Like Damon, بتطلع عليها like man, she's fucking strong, man. Like she's lived, you know, the life that she's lived. She's always been super hopeful. She always had the answer. She's always had something to say, you know. And now when I look at her and she has no answers, I'm like, yeah. That just shows me that we're all trying to figure it out and we don't know what to do. We don't, you know, it's okay to not know what to say. It's fine. We're all helpless. We're all clueless, if you want, but we're all deep down hopeful. Well, that's the thing that keeps me going every day. You know, I truly believe that. You know, قد ما بحب بين انه الدنيا زبالة والدنيا هيك والدنيا هيك ويا ريت صار هيك ويا ريت صار هيك بس at the end of the day I always say it and again anyone who knows me knows that I believe in this يعني very seriously, which is أي شيء, you know, anything that God has written, there's a plan, and when there's a plan, then there's a brighter ending, or there's a brighter path, or there's a brighter story to it, if you want to put it that way. That is something that I always think about كل يوم. That okay, it's shitty now, it's crappy now, this should never happen, but things will work. Even now I'm saying it and I feel empty. Anjad, I do. You know, but that's part of, honestly, from what I'm deducting from my day-to-day adventures, that I'm just emotionally tired. I'm fatigued. I'm burnt. You know, I don't have this fire in my belly as I used to. But I also think that there's a way around it. There is a way to get back to where I want to be, to where I think that, you know, okay, this is the most optimal way for me to live. And I'll share it with you now. Like, for example, like instead of, I don't know, reading content for about 10 hours a day, I'd maybe do an hour. Instead of مثلا about, I don't know, watching YouTube videos, I don't know, on whatever it's about. No, I do something more productive for me, something that fuels my creativity, something that fuels something inside of me to keep on going. Instead of مثلا, I don't know, spending 4 hours at the gym, I'd rather spend 1 hour at the gym and then rather spend the other 3 hours either sleeping, eating, catching up with some friends, doing something just to keep my mind off of things. I know the more we read, the more we dwell. The more we dwell, the more we panic. The more we panic, the more we feel like we're, you know, helpless. And that's what I've been feeling for the past week or so. And honestly, it's not a good place to be in, you know. Even when you hear like good news, like, I don't know, a baby was born. Okay, cool. Brooke. But deep down, I know that my emotions are much more, they're much more than that. But I just don't know how to express them. And no, again, I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to say or do. But again, I'm figuring it all out. I'm trying my best. That's the name of the game. You know, again, going back to the idea of what it means to be a رجال بهالوضع, I truly think, actually, it's not even رجال at this point. It's كون be a human. الصراحة, I forgot how to say it in Arabic, but no, just be there for another person. Be that light, if you want, for somebody, to Anjad feel like, okay, I can talk to this person whenever I feel down. Or لأنه بالآخر, again, we can never go through life alone. I've always said this on this podcast and I'll never stop saying it. It's something that we really need to believe in, because life is tough, man. Like, it's never going to get easier. You know, so whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're thinking, share it with someone, talk to someone about it. لأنه grieving, this is part of what this is, by the way. You're losing uh, uh, you're losing something from you every single day, whether it's a person, whether it's a memory, whether it's a bit of hope. It happens. Unfortunately, in this case, it's normal. But you need to keep believing that, yeah, things are going to work out. And I believe 100% things will work out. I may not show it, but I definitely believe it deep down. And this was the whole point of this episode, I think, just to come out and talk and share my story بهالفترة لأنه I felt like مش لأنه I'm entitled. I'm a regular human being just like everyone else, but I also feel like I need to come out and talk because one, it's my own therapy, so that's great. But two, I feel like this episode might help someone reach out to someone else and talk to them about things, or focus on maybe how to help themselves every day. It's hard. It's not easy. Today's my first day of trying, so I'll come back next time and I'll tell you how that's going. But just improving things in our lives and making sure that, you know what, we're not alone. We have people with us. We're all living abroad. We're all expats. We can't physically do anything. But the only thing that we can do is believe, and believing عن جد will feel something. And I think that's also beautiful. Anyways, today I don't have my notebook because where I usually write all my notes, but because I kind of forgot it. My mind was elsewhere today. But honestly, I'll publicly say my quote for today. I think believing can get you so far, and believing will set you free. I truly think so. If you don't believe, eventually you will. And if you don't, then start believing, because things will change. The way that you see the world will change. ما عم بقول أنا هلا I'm seeing the world as unicorns and rainbows, no, but it makes me be a bit more hopeful that a better tomorrow is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe in a better week, year, month, whatever. So yeah, it was a very sad episode. I don't intend it to be sad, but it's just I need to let out what I'm feeling. I need to let out a lot of all the thoughts that I have. And again, I apologize to people who do think that this episode might come across as insensitive. This is not the point. The point really is, again, just to let people know that, again, we don't all have it figured out. We don't all know what to do. That's normal. The only thing that I can tell you to do is to keep on believing that things will work. Things will be fine. I believe in it. If you want to jump on the train, then great. If not, we'll need to find another way to help you get on track. بس yeah, غير عن هيك, honestly, it's been a pleasure on this episode today. I look a bit tired, look a bit deflated. I know, I can feel it, but I do want to leave a positive mark on everyone who's ever going to watch this podcast. I don't know who. If you are, thank you. If not, actually, they won't even hear it. So what am I even saying? So yeah. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. Ooh, yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.